Have you ever clicked on a link from a friend or on a website and suddenly this takes over your screen? If so, congratulations, you've been rickrolled. The man with the baritone voice who you hear in that music video, Never Gonna Give You Up, his name is Rick Astley. Rick Astley has made headlines again recently because he has sued a rapper comedian named Young Gravy for voice imitation or voice theft. When I originally read these headlines, I thought this must be some sort of prank. I'm about to get rickrolled again by clicking on this. But it turns out this lawsuit is real, and you are not going to believe how much money that Rick Astley is demanding from Young Gravy as a result of imitating his voice. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end of this video, where I'm going to reveal and show you exactly how much money Rick Astley is demanding in this lawsuit from Young Gravy. In his complaint, Astley says that he gave Young Gravy permission to use his melody and the lyrics of Never Gonna Give You Up, but would not give him permission to actually sample his voice in Gravy's 2021 hit song, Betty Get Money, which has also gotten millions of views on YouTube. Astley says that after he refused to allow Gravy to sample his voice in Gravy's song, Gravy turned around and hired a vocalist to simply imitate Astley's voice for that music track, for that music video, and that by doing so, he essentially stole Rick Astley's voice by making a virtually undetectable copy of his voice. Here is a clip from Young Gravy's 2021 song, Betty Get Money.
Never let you down, baby.
Now, compare that to the original by Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
Can you tell a difference between the vocal tracks in those two songs? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the complaint that Rick Astley recently filed against Young Gravy in this lawsuit. Here we have in paragraph 1 a very dramatic beginning, opening salvo. Rick Astley says in his complaint, a voice is as distinctive and personal as a face. To impersonate their voice is to pirate their identity. He goes on to say, defendants have literally stolen plaintiff's voice, causing immense damage. Then in paragraph 3, Astley says, as such, Mr. Astley brings this complaint to seek relief from defendant's unauthorized intentional theft of his voice for commercial purposes. Now, looking at the facts section of this complaint, in paragraph 15, Astley says, Mr. Astley is extremely protective over his name, image, and likeness, and highly selective over what he chooses to endorse and who he affiliates with. In an effort to capitalize off of the immense popularity and goodwill of Mr. Astley, defendants recorded and released the song Betty Get Money, which interpolates Never Gonna Give You Up, and conspired to include a deliberate and nearly indistinguishable imitation of Mr. Astley's voice throughout the song. This was a deliberate theft of Mr. Astley's voice because, admittedly, defendants were unable to obtain a license for a sample, a digital copy of the actual sound of Mr. Astley's voice, from the sound recording of Never Gonna Give You Up. Then down here in paragraph 28, it says, a license to use the original underlying musical composition does not authorize the stealing of the artist's voice in the original recording. To use the artist's voice, the creators of a new recording need a license to copy the actual sounds of the voice from the sound recording, a so-called sample, license of the actual sound of the voice from the sound recording. As stated, defendants absolutely knew that to be the case. As Gravy said, he tried but failed for years to obtain a sound recording sample license. So instead, they resorted to theft of Mr. Astley's voice without a license and without agreement. Here's the question that this raises in my mind. Can you actually steal somebody's voice by imitating it? In my mind, it sounds like the same thing as the reason behind why you cannot copyright a style. I might be able to paint like Van Gogh in Van Gogh's style, and I might make a Van Gogh style of painting, but am I really stealing his art by doing that in his style? No, I'm not. You cannot copyright a style of art, a style of painting. The same, I would argue, goes for the voice. And so if I'm really good at imitating the voice of another person, then how is that stealing their voice? That just means I'm really good at imitating their voice. Then on page 8 of the complaint, we have the causes of action section. We'll go over those briefly. The first cause of action here is violation of right of publicity. The second cause of action is false endorsement, false designation of origin, violation of Section 43 of the Lanham Act, located at 15 United States Code, Section 1125. Then the third claim is violation of California Civil Code, Section 3344, which deals with the illegal appropriation of a person's property interest in their identity. So identity theft. And then unfair competition under California law. Now, here is the interesting part about the damages that Rick Astley is seeking. The prayer for relief section, it says that defendants should be ordered by the court to account and pay over to Mr. Astley all the gain, profits, and advantages derived or realized from their violation of Mr. Astley's rights set forth herein. It says that the court should order Young Gravy to pay Mr. Astley damages in an amount to be proven at trial, but believed to be in the millions of dollars sustained by Mr. Astley in consequence of defendants' actions, together with punitive and exemplary damages in an amount to be determined at trial. So in other words, this is a high dollar, multi-million dollar lawsuit. They are aggressively going after Young Gravy for imitating his voice, Rick Astley's voice, and Never Gonna Give You Up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this lawsuit. If you are interested in seeing more videos on this lawsuit, then let me know in the comment section below. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.